Okay guys, now that we've got the serious business of caffeination out of the way, we're going to get down to the business of how to fly your Mini 3 Pro in tight spaces or flying indoors. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to give you nothing but real world examples. So I'm going to start by flying my Mini 3 Pro out the back of my house. And what I kind of stumbled onto was that I was curious to see if I could fly the drone between the top of the deck railing and the top of the gazebo. So fly it right through, bring it back, bring it out, and then back down and around. And then what I'm going to do is take it out the front of my house and fly it through an even narrower opening, probably 5 feet wide, right across the front porch of my house. There's all kinds of obstacles. I've got 2 flower pots up on the porch, you know, chairs, coffee table, all that good stuff. Turn it around and bring it back. So if that sounds like something that you could benefit from, let's jump in, we'll get to it. Okay guys, so tonight I'm going to give you an example of some of the tight spaces that you can fly through with your Mini 3 Pro. And so the first thing I'm going to do is take the drone off to just make sure that the drone itself has got adequate cooling. And now we're going to make a few adjustments. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hit the top right 3 buttons, and I'm going to go into safety, and you'll notice that obstacle avoidance action is set to bypass. I'm going to set that to off, and then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom here, advanced settings, and we're going to put signal lost. Instead of return to home, we're going to set it to hover. And that's because if your drone comes into contact with an obstacle and it decides to return to home, it will have a very difficult time doing that through the roof of your house, or in this case, the roof of our gazebo. Okay, now control, and we're going to go to gain and expo tuning. And you want to make sure that instead of sport mode, your drone is set into cine mode. That gives you the slightest movement on the joysticks. It slows down, so there's no abrupt actions, and you'll get a lot smoother video footage. And that's it. Once those 3 settings have been done, now we're going to back our drone up. Okay, and so now you can see exactly what we're going to fly through, and it'll be interesting to see how this works. So let's take our drone up a little bit, and here we go. Okay, pretty straightforward and no issues. Going to take it up. Not too high. Bring it straight back. Apologies for the neighbor's air conditioner that just came on. So now just spin the drone around so you can see. I got a couple apple trees in my backyard here. And there's yours truly. Let's just bring the camera down a little bit. And so right where I'm standing is where I took the drone off. And so just going to go forward a little bit, and I'm almost hitting the leaves on the apple tree. So now we'll turn this guy around, go back a little bit, and I should be able to repeat the process here just so you can see it a second time. And I'm going to drop it down a little bit this time. There's only 4 feet between the top of the deck fence and the bottom roof of the gazebo. There we go. And I can just back it straight up. Bring it down. Whoops, here we go. Now that space was fairly tight. I'm going to show you one that's a little bit tighter. And so let's go give it a shot. So what you're looking at now is the front porch of my house, and this is going to be very tight. So I'm just going to take it nice and slow. Going to move it to the left a little bit. There we go. Now I can turn it. And we should be able to bring it back. Without hitting anything. And there we go. So now we just take it down the back. And I'll give you a better look at what we were flying through. So this is basically what we were flying through earlier. And just a small 10 by 12 gazebo at the back of my house. But with a few simple settings in the controller on the Mini 3 Pro, and you can fly indoors and you can fly through small spaces, and it's not that difficult. For flying indoors, folks, you're going to need a good set of blade guards for your Mini 3 Pro. And so what we've got here is the Sunny Life set of blade guards. I guess it's KC 407. And let's just pop this open. So we got a little bag. We've got some instructions here. Okay, so A, B, A1, B1. All right. So it looks like we've got A here, and this is B here. It's kind of embossed onto the plastic, so put that there. And we've got A1 goes over here, and B1 goes here. Okay, so we just need our drone now, so let's pull this apart. Take this out of the way. Let's bring in our Mini 3 Pro, open the flap here, and now we can just take our guard and snap it in place. Wow, that was pretty easy. Okay. Shove that in there. Open the clasp. Slide it in place, snap it down. So it looks like opening the clasp is the trick to this. And let's pop this in, stick this in here, and there we go. I don't think that took 60 seconds and we're done. Fantastic. So this is going to give your blades some protection. So if you fly into a wall or you hit something, the interior of the home, if you're doing real estate photography, is going to have a little bit of protection. So I think this is a good thing, but this is definitely something that you want to have if you're flying in tight spaces or if you're going to be doing real estate photography and flying indoors. Okay guys, so in order to fly in home, we need to make a few adjustments first. And so I'm going to tap on the three dots at the top right. I'm going to go into, okay, well, we're already at control. Let's do safety first. And we want to turn obstacle avoidance, return to home. We want to take it from bypass and turn it to off. And then we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom to advanced safety settings, and we want to make sure that if the signal is lost, the drone is just going to hover. So we're going to select hover, confirm that, and then we're going to go back. We're going to go into control, and we're going to go to gain and expo tuning, and we want to make sure that the drone is off normal mode and is in cine mode, and cine mode will give us the best flight pattern. So now we can click here, and so you can see the message, take off with caution, no GPS. And so we'll just hit the button here and whoops, hold the button down. So this will probably be a very tedious flight, but that's okay. We'll just take our time. Okay, so that was a perfect example of what happens because the bottom sensors on the drone are on. So you notice that when it came to the table, it immediately rose up. And that's why you don't want to take your drone off from a table like that, or from an island in a kitchen, or some other mid-level obstruction. So now, that was my mistake. So now we just take it back to exactly where we started. Now, one thing you notice here is that on the screen it says normal mode, and that's what you have to watch for. So that's why I noticed the drone movements are a little jerky. So I'm going to move the manual button to N, and now take it to C. Now I'm in cine mode. So the movements would be a little bit smoother if I had it in cine mode. Okay, so now that we're officially in cine mode, let's see if we can run this again and get a little bit smoother flight. So this is my YouTube office. Now we're heading into the studio. And what I'm going to do here is purposely drop the drone down a little bit. And just watch what happens when it hits the table. You notice it pushes it up a little bit. And that's because the bottom sensors on the drone can't be turned off. So you need to be careful of that. Basically a storage area. And let's see if we can put her back down. Oh, it's actually blown that little piece of cardboard out of the way. Okay, plan B, we'll put her down on the coffee table. Okay, and there, my friends, we have achieved a successful flight indoors without banging our drone into any walls or any obstacles, and that's really all there is to it. Okay guys, to wrap up this video, If you follow a few simple steps, setting up on the controller on your Mini 3 Pro, you can easily fly indoors. And I would say probably the number one thing that I forget to do is when I put it in cine mode, going into the programming, and then I come out of the programming and I see that it's still set in normal, then I want to take my controller and manually switch it from normal into cine. And if you do that, you're going to get beautifully smooth indoor footage, flying through tight spaces, what have you. But just be careful. Take a look at what you're doing and assess the risk. You know, if there's a chance that you're going to crash your drone, my advice is don't do it. It's not worth it. So if you found this video useful, as always, hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell for me. I really appreciate it. Love to hear your comments. I really appreciate you guys, all the positive comments you've given me since I've been doing videos on the drone. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I will see you in the next